Hi, and welcome to Project 7 of Petals Club, where we'll be making this beautiful plaque that spells out the word home. Your plaque will already come with the letters inscribed upon it to use as a template. With the project comes with these beautiful little black iridescent tiles, and that's what we're going to be using to make the letters. So just follow the template round, and you can see on here that to go around the corners I have cut one of the squares diagonally to get round the top of the H. To make the slash across the H, I've just cut the tiles in half, but just the nature of the way things go, they didn't cut evenly in half, so I've put the wider ones on one end and then just went and used across and used the thinner ones. So I used whole tiles again down the bottom of that stroke, and then use the other half of the tile from the top of the H just to give that a little flick at the end. This template, that the writing is just a guide, so you can do what you want to do on this one, and you can see as the video goes through that I change my mind on how I'm going to present stuff. So feel free, it's your project, make it how you want it to be. So I'll speed things up a little bit from here so you can so you don't get bored, but you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just using whole tiles again to do this other part of the H. This is a quite easy word to do, but I thought it would be great for the club so you get a bit of practice of how to create lettering. And you can see that I haven't put that last bit of flourish on the bottom of the H because that's my choice. Okay. Creating the O is a little bit more tricky because obviously it's a circle, so I will be cutting some of the tiles in half like I did for the H to get round those corners. And things can get a little bit fiddly here, so I like to use my trusted pointy stick, whether it's one that's you've already got, or whether it's the long stick that you've got inside the kit that got sent out. But it's very useful to use that to nudge things into place and have a play with the placing and see what works best for you. You can see that I'm using a pair of tweezers as well. It's not necessary. I mean, you can just pick the tiles up with your fingers, but sometimes I find picking up using tweezers is a little bit more helpful for me. But don't think that's an essential part of the equipment you use for this project. I'm just playing about here with the tile placement and until I'm happy, and then moving on to the next one. So, same again, I'm just picking up the tiles, following the template. So the M is probably the trickiest letter we're going to do in this word because it's got the double arch. So I've cut a tile in half, and as you can see I'm just going to use it there, and then I'm going to put a whole one on, and then I think I'm then going to use another triangle. I know with this I played about with the lettering quite a lot, so I put things down and then I took it off because I wasn't quite sure, and I just moved things along a little bit. So it's all about having a play, see what works best for you, and then yeah, when you're happy you can stick it down. As you can see here, I'm fiddling and trying things, and does that work? I'm not sure. Let's take it off, let's try again. And it's all part of my process. I like to have a play and see how things look. And you can also see in the middle of the M, I haven't used the whole of the template. That was my choice. That's how I prefer the lettering for me. Yeah. Now on to the E, the last letter. So I started off with a triangle in the middle, and then using whole squares where I can, and then to get round the curve using more tiles cut in half to get the triangles, and then just playing about getting my placement right. I've got my radio playing in the background here. I always like to have some music and something on in the studio when I'm working. Just keep me company. So I'm just nudging things here with a really useful nudging stick, just trying to get the tiles a little bit closer together because we don't want too big a gaps when we're doing lettering. And the grout that we're going to be using this time is white, so the closer you can get your black tiles, the better. But yeah, I'm happy with the main body of the E, then another half square. Yeah, and it's all coming together nicely. And this is my last one. So you could finish off with a triangle with a little flourish at the end. That could be quite nice as well. So when you've stuck all your letters down, go back and just check your placement to make sure that you're happy with what you've done. Next step, just go around the outside with the remaining black iridescent tiles. Leave the corners with the holes in because you're going to be threading your ribbon through there later. And then once you've stuck those down, I would leave it for about half an hour before you go on to the next stage. After you've left it for about half an hour, just let the glue settle a little bit. You can then play about with your butterfly placement. I've chosen here to put the butterflies in 2 different colours, but use your own flair and decide how you want to place those butterfly wings. And then once I've stuck those butterflies down, the next bit I'm going to do is just fill in the whole background with the little white round darling dots. That's what they're called, these little dots. And the idea is to fill the space with as many dots as possible. So they will be touching. Yeah, just cram them in as much as you can. And this is going to form your background, and then that will make your letters pop. So we're going to have a white background with white grout, and then that will help you read the word home nicely. So you can see that there are awkward bits that you're not going to get a whole white tile in. So where you can, if the gap's too big, then just cut a tile in half and just fill those gaps. Yes, you can see here I've got the bit between the H and the O, that's quite small, but I don't want to fill it all with white grout, so I'm just putting little half bits in. And yeah, it's quite fun, very therapeutic this bit. You can take your time, you don't have to rush, and you can do a bit and then come back to it later, so if you've got something to do, don't feel that you have to do the whole lot at once. And yes, I've just managed to get a half one into that centre of the E, a couple of whole ones in the O, and then more half ones there. Yeah, isn't that lovely? So once you've done it all, leave it overnight to dry before you grout. To grout, follow the instructions included in the kit box. I hope you've enjoyed making this project, and don't forget to share your finish makes in the China Petals Makers Facebook group.